Hi guys, and welcome back for the 9th episode of Wake Up CX. So this episode is again a topic that comes up on LinkedIn a lot, and I think it's the basis for why a lot of us use LinkedIn. It's a topic that applies to me and definitely inspired me in the past, continues to do so now. So when I decided to go back to school and go back to get my degree through the Open University, it was mainly because I felt I should be learning and developing my skill set. I felt because I've made the decision to have a family young that I didn't go down a path that I might have done with university and things like that. So I studied with the Open University. It took for about 6, 7 years to go through, doing it all in parts while working full time. And some of the topics that really sat with me were things like Prince 2 and ITIL. Basically, how do you manage projects and tasks and things like that. And one of the big things that sat with me was CSI, so your continual service improvement. Basically, a flow for how you work through tasks. You have an idea of what you want to achieve, you start putting together all your resources, bringing everything together, you do the work. Rather than it just being release, it's about a feedback loop that just keeps going around on itself. So it's a very iterative process where you just keep going over and over and improving. And I think as people, that's what we are. We are continually improving. Sometimes that goes well, sometimes it doesn't. We all have good weeks, bad weeks, years that we wish didn't happen, and other years that went really well for us, and we start questioning, what was different between the two. And I think that's a big one. For different people, it means different things. Now, last week's episode, I talked about, the frequency of one-to-one meetings and, how often should you engage with your team. And it's a topic that is extremely important because the more you invest in your staff and in your team and develop them, whether it's growing the skill set, building the confidence, teaching them new services, giving them new opportunities to explore new things, it really does help them as people to grow. Not just them as employees or them as staff, but them as people, and that's what they are. At the end of the day, we choose to work with people. It's why we have people instead of bots doing everything. And I think focusing on their growth and their development is extremely important. Now, this episode is going to be really short because I can't tell you how to focus on your continual development. So what I thought I would do is give a couple of examples of things where I'm focusing on my continual development and see if any of these resonate with you. I'd love to see what you guys are doing to focus on your continual development. And, they're not all as linear as you might think. So I'll give you a couple of mine. So many of you will know, last year I quit smoking. I'm about 14, 15 months in now. No looking back. I would say I feel much healthier for it, but I don't because I keep injuring myself. But physically breathing's a lot easier for me now, which is a good sign. I changed up my career. I was working as a business planner. I was very unhappy, not with the job itself, but with the company, the people. I just felt that I'd hit a dead end. I moved to Greenlight, and I'm not going to pretend it's been easy. It's extremely difficult. I've never worked sales before in my life, and every day is a new school day sort of thing. After finishing my degree, I had a couple of years of quiet time and decided I wanted to go back. My wife had achieved a master's, and I decided I wanted to go back and do a bit of postgraduate study. I did my postgraduate certificate, which is in systems thinking and practice. If anyone knows what that is, I'll be really impressed. But yeah, so I did that. I've now decided that's me done with formal study, and anything else I learn will be more granular, take it as I find it, explore topics a bit more deep than I would. And again, The more recent one, which I'm part of a small group for, is I'm trying to shift some of this weight so I can go play rugby. Again, fun story about that. Not long into it, and I'm already injured. I've done my ankle in, so I'm now limited on my walking, so I definitely can't play rugby while that's not fixed. But, you know, all these continual improvement stories, most of them will have setbacks. And until you react to those setbacks, you just give up or just keep pushing past safely, I might add. I got in trouble off my doctor for not slowing down when I'd hurt myself, and I've actually injured myself even more. But yeah, this is what continual improvement is. You know, it's not all a success story. I don't have a private yacht. I'm not, you know, exploring the world every 5 minutes. But it's just these small changes that we make, and more than anything, it's about the mindset that goes into it. I'm actually working on learning Welsh, which, by the way, I'm terrible with languages, but here I am. I'm over 50 days learning at it and getting a little bit better each day and a little bit more confident with it. Don't ask me to speak it though. I can read it. That's about my limit at the moment. Maybe episode 100 I'll do in all Welsh just to surprise everybody. But yeah, that's what continual improvement is. And in order to achieve it, you need your mindset right, you need your support network properly in place. And yeah, it's a good feeling when it goes right. So with that in mind, I did say I wanted to do something a little bit big for episode 10. And as part of my development in my current role, I'm doing a lot more video work and animation and things. So I've decided for episode 10, I'm going to give the whole Wake Up CX a bit of a facelift and make it a little bit more fun and interactive. Now that I know a little bit more about the software I'm using. So I'm looking forward to that, and I hope you'll all enjoy it once it's done. Again, appreciate any feedback when that does go live next week. Okay, so thank you for your time, and you guys have a great weekend. Don't forget, let me know what you're working on in the comments. Thank you.